All right, guys, let's take a look at Unit 3, Section 2, which deals with relations and functions. So a relation is simply a set of ordered pairs. So we're going to have, a bunch of x and y coordinates. That's going to be your relation. Your domain is going to be your x coordinates or just your x values, and the range is going to be the y coordinates or your y values. Now, it's important when you organize these, you want to make sure that you don't repeat values. So do not repeat values. And you want to order the numbers from least to greatest. All right? And that's only when you're organizing the data. So let's look at an example of a relation. This is your relation. Okay? Now the domain is going to be all of your x values listed from least to greatest without repeating any of them. Now, when you look at the range, it's going to be your y values, again, least to greatest, without repeating any of them. Now, in order to determine if this is a function or not, if you notice that the x values repeat, in this case, the 2 and this 2, both of these x's repeat. The 1 and the 1 also repeats. Whenever you have x's that repeat, it's not going to be a function. So we looked at a relation. You can also look at a table. Now, a table is never organized from least to greatest because these are just ordered pairs, right? You have 3, 4, 7, 2, so on and so forth. You can just look at this table and organize your data based on what you have. So we have 3, 4, 7, 2, 0, -1, so on and so forth. You can write them in the form of a relation. Also, you can just look at your data. If you notice any of the x's that repeat, you have a 3 here and you have another 3 here. Right off the bat, you can say that it's not a function. Now, we want to look at a mapping diagram. Another way to look at this is a mapping diagram is just two ovals or two rectangles. Your domain is on the left, your range is on the right. You don't repeat the values, and again, you order them from least to greatest, and you want to connect your x and y values. So let's look at the first mapping diagram. Again, my domain is on the left, and my range is on the right. So all you're doing is you're taking all of your x values without including the duplicates. You want to list them in order from least to greatest. You're doing the same for your y values. Least to greatest, don't include the duplicates. Now you want to draw a line connecting each x to its y. So if I have -2 as my x value, it's correlating or corresponding to the -6. You want to draw a line from -2 to -6. -4 corresponds to, -1 corresponds to -4. You want to draw a line, so on and so forth. You want to connect all of your ordered pairs. Now again, if you notice the x's repeat, it's not a function, so the -2 repeats and the -1 repeats. Now you can also just look at your mapping diagram. If you have two lines coming out of an x value, you know that it's not going to be a function. The last and final way we can determine if it's a function or not is by looking at the vertical line test. If you draw a vertical line that passes through your graph and your data, okay, if it intersects at exactly 1 point, then you know that the x doesn't repeat and it's a function. If it passes through or intersects at more than a point, then it's not a function. So let's look at the first example. I'm going to draw a vertical line through my data. And if you notice, it intersects at 1 point. So it's a function. If I look at the next graph, if I draw a vertical line, it intersects at 1 point, so it is a function. If I look at the next two graphs, if I try to draw a vertical line, okay, you're going to notice that it intersects at multiple points here, which means your x's repeat, and there's no way it's a function. Here, in this case, with the vertical line, every single point is intersecting. All right, so that can't be a function either. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the Google Classroom.